Hey, B30, it's the beginning of February 2021, and we have completed Act 4. Now, I'm still trying to figure out why I have a halo around my head here, but anyways. Oh, okay. So, Hamlet, Act 4, and just before I get into that, a reminder, your research projects are due. So, if they are handed in um, after or the start of the next day you show up, we have our deductions in place, and you don't want that because that's your project is worth 25%. So we can't, you can't, you just can't. So please get it in, and then also you have stereotypes, the questions in the 5 paragraph essay. That's due day 1 the 2nd, and day 2 the 3rd, and your cola conquest questions and advertisements or commercial, whichever one you're doing. That's day 1 is February 4th, and day 2 is February 5th. Okay, so that's where we're at right now, and we'll have Hamlet done uh, February 2nd and 3rd. We'll get that done. And then we'll move into the other items and then start Animal Farm the week of February 8th. So look at Google Classroom for the updated posts there so you can plan out your month of February. I'm going to take this thing off here so I can actually. Oh, there we are. Okay. Whew. So, Hamlet Act 4. Let's get into a screen share. And if you're looking for Tombstone Ideas, there is a video that is posted from Quint number 2. It talks about ELA projects, so please check that out for your Tombstone Ideas, and if you're choosing the Animal Farm project as well. So there is a video there. Just look at the Heskin ELA YouTube site and look for ELA projects. It's would be in Quint 2, in dated December something. All right. So let's get into this. Episode 4, I am entitling it Death and Revenge. So we have the Queen is excited, not in a good way, but frantic about what happened at the end of Act 3 with the death of Polonius at the hands of Hamlet. And so she comes and tells Claudius about the discussion. Now, keep in mind, if you recall, Hamlet was speaking daggers to his mother for what she's done and what she hasn't done. And then the ghost of Hamlet Sr. Comes back and reminds Hamlet, hey, leave your mother to Judgment Day. You get yourself back on track and get my soul out of purgatory. Okay, so, and unfortunately, with the death of Polonius, Hamlet thought it was Claudius, and thought he was done with the revenge factor, but it was Polonius sticking his nose in other people's business, and tragically it led to his demise. And he didn't deserve that death, but that's what happened. Hamlet is now he's got to pay for that sin of murdering an innocent man, and but he's got to get that'll be dealt with later. Right now we have to get back on track and go for Claudius here. Hamlet has hid the body of Polonius, and the king is using Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Why those two guys are still here is beyond me. They should have left after the play. Actually, they should have left. Yeah, they should have left after the play, but they didn't. So it looks like they're looking to elevate their status in society or something because they keep doing the king's bidding. So they're looking all over the place, can't find the body. Then Hamlet says where the body is, so they go get the body. And Claudius tells Hamlet that he's going to be heading to England. And so Hamlet already knew that was going to be the case earlier in Act 3, especially with his behavior, but now it's official because Hamlet has crossed the line. Albeit he's crossed the line a few times, with his madness. So now it's official. Okay. Um, then we have Hamlet's supposed to be going to England for the sole purpose of just kind of, we're going to just get you out of here for a while until things cool down. But Claudius has a plan for Hamlet, and that is to have England get rid of Hamlet upon arrival. And Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are going to escort him to England. Those guys, they could be back home, but they're not, and unfortunately this is going to lead to their tragic demise as well. Why is it not going? Okay. It's frozen. There we go. Now, in the next scene, in scene 4, we have Fortinbras of Norway. He's marching through Denmark, or going to be, and now the plan, initial plan, or at least the story is that he's supposed to be going off to fight in Poland, but later on we're going to find out that he's going to take a slight detour and reclaim what was lost in the battle between Denmark and Norway, between the two seniors, Hamlet and Fortinbras Senior. And Denmark won the battle, of course, which led to Fortinbras Senior's being killed in action, and King Hamlet Senior being victorious. And of course, Fortinbras Jr. is not happy with that, and he's seeking revenge as well. So the whole play is about revenge. Okay, and a few other things as well. So we have the soliloquy where Hamlet again is criticizing his, I should have, could have, would have, this should be already done, that kind of stuff. And here we have these soldiers going off to battle and fighting for a cause, and they have no problem going into battle, and Hamlet can't even do a simple, well, not really simple, but a basic seek vengeance, free his father's soul, and all that kind of stuff. Sounds simple, anyways. And while this is happening, we find out that in scene 5, Ophelia has gone mad. Well, she has lost her brother to France. So Laertes left Ophelia behind to deal with their father on her own, and while Laertes gets to do whatever he wants. So, and then we have Hamlet has spurned Ophelia, as far as even stating, "Get thee to a nunnery," in Act 3. And then we have Polonius, the death of Polonius. So Ophelia has lost all 3 male influences in her life to various different reasons or causes, or situations, and now she is lost. And we saw that downward spiral occurring very early on in Act 1, and now it's really taken off to this point. And she's singing these songs, but she is telling a story, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But she is telling a story, but to her audience, it's very incoherent, doesn't make any sense, or at least they can't, put 2 and 2 together. But as an audience, the audience, we can figure out what she's dealing with or talking about, and we'll delve into this later on. So Ophelia takes off, and that sets us up for what's going to be coming up next. Laertes returns because he found out about his father's passing. How he found out is the big question. But he does have quite a few supporters because they're outside the castle taking on the Elsinore guards, and his supporters are yelling, "Laertes should be king! Laertes should be king!" because Claudius is really not doing a great job as being king of Denmark. And technically, Claudius should not be king of Denmark. It should be Hamlet if we follow succession. But that's another discussion. Uh, Ophelia comes in again, and she's passing out all these flowers. And there is symbolism behind each flower that she gives out. We'll talk a little bit about that in either a separate video or if we do have time in this video. Next scene 6. Horatio receives a letter stating that Hamlet's coming back. Somehow, there was some pirates at sea. They invaded the ship that he was on to England, and somehow Hamlet made a deal that would bring him back to Denmark, but Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are still heading to England. So you could probably guess what's going to happen to them upon the arrival, because we already knew what was going to happen to Hamlet upon arrival. So put 2 and 2 together. We'll find out officially what happens to them at the very end, so foreshadowing there. In scene 7, Laertes is still distraught with losing Polonius and, of course, seeing his sister Ophelia in the state that she's in. The king decides that he needs Laertes just in case Hamlet does come back, and guess what? He gets a letter that says he is. Okay. We have Claudius going, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And said, oh, wait a second. I'm going to use Laertes now because Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are out of the picture. I have nobody else. Polonius is no longer here. I have nobody else to do my bidding, so I'm going to use Laertes. So he kind of boosts up his ego a bit by talking about his swordsmanship, and there was a famous swordsman, Lamond, that is well known by many swordsmen that are out there at the time, and the fact that Claudius is saying, hey, he was speaking about you and kind of bragging about your skills, saying that you're even better than Hamlet. Oh, really? Okay. Wow, that's awesome. So let's use that skill, and let's use it against Hamlet. So Laertes goes, well, if that's the case, if Lamond thinks I'm a pretty good swordsman, I have a bit of poison here, an unction that I can put on the sword, and if you get a scratch on anywhere, it gets into the system right away, and it will kill the person instantly. Well, maybe not instantly, but it will kill the person eventually. And so Claudius goes, hey, that's a good plan, but if it doesn't happen, if it doesn't kill Hamlet quickly, then we need a backup plan. So Claudius thinks for a bit, and he goes, oh, I got an idea. Let's poison a cup. Okay, so you fight him, and to a point where Hamlet needs to have a drink, needs to have a break, and so he gets his drink, and it'll be poisoned, and that will finish him off. Okay, so they both agree on the 2 plans, and then Gertrude comes in, and here just a warning to this one. Gertrude comes in and informs Laertes that Ophelia has drowned, and it's very detailed account of how she drowned. So how she got that information, that's never discussed in the play, but you have to wonder how would she get the full details. Like, somebody had to be a witness to see this, and why is Shakespeare telling us this in this manner? And so if you want to see the movie Ophelia, it's from her perspective of what's going on during the play. They address that fairly well. Now, albeit it's not what happens in the play Hamlet, but at least it gives Ophelia a little more substance, more character. She's her own woman. She can now be who she wants to be, and things like that. So uh, that's really up to you on whether you want to view that. Just again, heads up with the. We already know what happens to Ophelia in the play Hamlet, so they do address those kind of things in this movie, but it's a little bit of a twist, and so that's totally up to you on that one. All right, I'm not sure where we're at for time here, but I think I'm going to do a video separate for the meanings behind the flowers at a later date. We'll take that up in class because we haven't done that yet, and I don't want to get into it now without having discussed it in class. So I think we'll do a separate video for that later. If we, or maybe I won't. I'm not sure. Maybe the explanation in class will suffice. We'll have to see. But for now, you have Act 4, and you should be all caught up to date for your summaries for Acts 1, 2, 4, and we have one more to go, and I think we're going to just finish it off Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the play is done. If you are going to do the Tombstone project for your final exam, you need to get started on that because it's due February 12th. And again, check out Google Classroom for that information. And the whole month is laid out for you for the days that you are present throughout this month. Okay? Other than that, take care, be safe.